Peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings. I hope this message finds you in good health and high spirits. Can you hear me well? I want to ensure that my voice is reaching you clearly and without any interruptions. Peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings once again. Are we ready to start our session today? I hope everyone is prepared and excited for what we have planned. Thank you, Dr. Wafa, for your kind introduction and for setting the stage for our discussion. All right, let's proceed with our agenda and make the most of our time together. Let's continue. We were working on the design for Mr. Slide, for the question slides and the result slides. So when I go to the view menu and then Mr. Slide, this is the result slide. So I can program this button to be, for example, a review of scores. This is a review. So I call it a review of answers. And this second button can be for retaking the test, meaning I can answer again. And the last one can be for printing the results. All right, so here are the buttons for the questions. I should have a submit button for each question. So I will have a submit button for each question. So I can program the dot button to be, for example, review grades. This is review. For instance, indeed, for example. So I call it here review answers. Review answers, in fact, for instance. And this second button is, as you can see, indeed, replay. The test means that I can definitely respond once more. And this last button can be for printing the results. So here are indeed all of those buttons for answering each of these questions. I should have a submit button for every single question without exception. All right then. So I need to make sure that there is a submit button available, specifically designed just right there, ready and waiting for every question. All right, let me take a moment to think this through carefully and gather my thoughts before I proceed with a response. I want to ensure that I consider everything thoroughly. Let's take this, Control C, and then we paste it here with Control V. We can simply leave it here and say, acknowledge the answer or move on to the next question. Next world. Confirming the answer involves sending it and moving to the next one. This is the question, these are the questions, and this is the result. We will need to design both. It will be challenging initially as I have the questions. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can arrange the questions like this. This is the second question, this is the third question, and this is the fourth question. Let's move on together here to submit the answer. It's clear. Now, I also want banners in Mr. Slide for both. I want the banner at the top in all. I place it in the results section too. No problem. For the questions, I add the course name. Any problem? But these are the questions. So I'm adding a test here. 3, 4. I can take from them the one who gave the question and did this scene with me. Okay, what is supposed to be here? Is this the second question? This is the third question. This is the fourth question. Okay, let's talk together here. Send the clear answer. I want banners in Mr. Slide for both. The banner at the top, it should be in all of them. I go to the results section and place it here. No problem. And for the questions, I also put the course name. What's the problem with that? All right, but these are the questions. So I'm adding the word test here, e.g., and I start placing the components underneath. I give space here, allowing my work to be centered between the question and the answer. I can also add a small label on this banner for the questions and write something here, e.g., just to clarify things. This is not the goal. I can duplicate this by holding Control and dragging it down, and I can label it end of lesson test and make it a bit smaller. For example, the word test here, and I started placing the components underneath. So I give some space here to ensure that my work is centered between the question and the answer. I can also add a small label on this banner for the questions and write something here, for example, just to clarify things. Of course, this isn't it. So we can duplicate this by holding Control and dragging it down, and I can label it end of lesson test and make it a bit smaller, considering that the main aim here is to ensure that we can easily and efficiently duplicate this particular element by holding down the Control key and dragging it downwards. Once this element is successfully duplicated, I can conveniently label it as end of lesson test. Additionally, I will make it slightly smaller for better visual consideration and clarity. End of lesson test is ready. Define work area. Adjust master slide before questions. State result here. Check and close. Review design. Question includes answer, true or false. Make question smaller before setting. True false question design. Question above can come down. True or false doesn't need much. Check the test result. Design check. The question is included with its answer, TF, in the topic. Make it smaller before setting questions. This is a TF question, and this is its design. Adjust it. I need to set everything up properly. Working in Arabic, define the Q and A aligned from the right. True will be naam, and false will be khatat. Like this, I might decide on the questions. This is a true-false question design. True-false questions don't need to stretch to the end. Working in Arabic, I'll define the question and answer, then align right. True is naam, false is khat. Got it? The printer is a key input unit. You go to the end with all this view, then you come here, and you come here. So I adjust my world, okay? These two words because I work in Arabic, so I determine the question and the answer, and I go up to the alignment and bring it from the right, and true is yes, and false is false, okay? Okay, so here I have the first question. I say, for example, this question is about the computer and the printer. The printer is one of the most important input units. For example, so here I have this question. Is it true or false? You answer true or false. The natural answer is false. As for the printer, it is one of the output units, and therefore I have to correct the errors. This is the correct and incorrect question. I can take a copy of it and put a second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth question from the correct and incorrect ones. This could be a reference slide for this type of correct and incorrect questions. Okay? Now let's move on to the second question, which is a multiple choice question. Let us carefully and thoroughly examine this particular aspect of the question. I'll also bring this in, but it's a bit smaller for the multiple choice format. I'm trying as much as I can to consider the spacing, so this will create a design for the question. You adjust the sizes and dimensions, then come here to define this area and set it to right to left, the same right to left direction, because this is Arabic. Now, write the second question. What are the most important input units in a computer? The answers you are looking for can be found right here. To proceed, please click on this link using your mouse. Now moving on, I have the second question for you, which is as follows. Printer, I am asking about the input. Printer, I am asking about the input. Speakers, I am asking about the input. And this is the last question. Why the fourth? I said the mouse, the printer, and the speakers. I wrote them wrong. I will go back and fix them. Okay, the input units. Let's say, what is the processor? These are four answers. These four answers. I am supposed to adjust my alignment so that it is on the right like this. And the correct answer is the mouse. Got it? Very clear, right? Is there anything better than this for programming questions? The graphics are great. Everything is working left and right.